here. Okay, so welcome to the Tulande podcast, where we get to table matters that are of a concern to different people of different age groups, and I'll be your host tonight. And my name is Success, and we have a privilege of having a youth advocate, a doctor, and a woman of God. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so just before we get into today's discussion, I would love you just to introduce yourself and just a few things that you would want people that are watching to know a little bit about you.
Okay, so my name is Sarah Mtonga. I'm a medical doctor by profession, and well, a believer first. I was going to say a full-time pastor. Why did everyone say that? Anyway. Yes. I'm a youth advocate. And yes, that's pretty much it. That's about me.
Okay. So before we get to our topic today, we find a lot of youths are getting engaged into different things, and we find a growing number of people in rehabs. We find a growing number of people that are going through counseling and trying to get people back on track. What do you think is the crisis? What sort of crisis are youths going through? What sort of crisis are there? Certain crises that you feel are in a youth that you would want to address? So instead of taking people to rehab, but maybe if we can address those things, would have a better youth.
Okay, so among the problems arising, or the causes to what is actually going on in individual youth lives right now is failure of identity. They don't know themselves. They lack identity. Okay, that's number one. They lack identity. They don't know themselves, and because of that, they try to keep up to a certain standard of life, which leads them to do certain things. Okay, it's a very big problem that youths face in a particular age range, from the age 12 to 21. About that age range, that's why a lot of victims are. So, an identity crisis. And the other thing is also just peer pressure. Okay? Peer pressure. These guys are looking at their friends and wants to be like their friends. Not just that, also their friends who influence other people. So, a lot of youths right now are not assertive. They can't say no to things. And a poor reading and research culture. Okay, because back in the day, people would read a lot of articles and would learn a lot of stuff. People would read a lot of books written by different wise men that have gone before us, and they would learn a lot of stuff. There are a lot of amazing books that people have done, right? I think there's a book by Dr. Miles Monroe called Identity. So such books, a lot of amazing books, but people have just not read. And also the lack of research. Right now, people just want to live with the way things are. They don't want to research and know how they can go about different things or how to navigate life. So a lot of youths are facing that crisis. Also, lack of knowledge from their schools or their parents. Well, this is because maybe your parents are now very busy people. They don't spend time with their children, and their children are tending to go astray. And, they don't even have knowledge on a lot of things. Back in the day, parents would sit down from work and guide their children to say, no, this is bad, this is good, don't do that, don't do this. But at this point in life, parents have just become busy. The world has become a very busy place. And these children have got no one to look up to. So, emotional guidance, there's nothing like that right now. Very few parents are doing that. So those are like one of the issues I can point out from our current society. Yes.
Okay. So today we wanted to address the issue of baby mamas and baby daddies. Is it becoming, is it now culturally accepted that you can have a child here and then people are finding very normal, that's my baby mama, that's my baby daddy, and it's slowly becoming culturally accepted, so to say. From a Christian perspective, and also what do you think are some of the impact, not just from the Christian perspective, but the impact of such things on a society? Because you are having a child, and it's okay to call someone a baby mama, but one of the things why I brought up that issue, it's also because of what you've been talking about. Parents are busy, and looking at a child who's growing up in a home where I'll accept the child, but I'm not going to marry the woman. And we find an increase in the number of people that are having children without first being married. I want you to tell me from the Christian point of view, and also just from society, the impact of what has been growing, baby mamas, baby daddies.
So we are growing an immoral society. If we're going to increase or continue doing such things, with what it is, people, there's what we call guided learning and unguided learning. So this is slowly becoming a normal thing, and you don't even have to teach anyone to say, no, don't do this, don't do that. If they're going to see it, they'll learn in a way that's unguided. Like, they'll just think it's a normal thing, because it's something that we're seeing around, right? So it's like unguidedly made it a normal thing. We've learned it and it has become a normal thing. But it shouldn't be the case, because if we go to the Bible, we're not supposed to have children out of wedlock. I mean, we're not supposed to have children even before the union of the man and the woman, okay? Like, because that's, yes, we would be committing fornication. That's a sin. Because it means we've been having sex outside, and yes, that's a sin. So it means we are promoting sin, which shouldn't be the case in our society. And it has a lot of, what could I call it? It has impacted the society negatively. Because of this, we have an increased poverty rate. What I mean is, there are a lot of people that are indulging in such, but even failing to support their children. And now the cost of living, looking at the way our lives have become, the economy and everything, there's an increased rate of poverty. I'm speaking civic and geography now. But also, apart from that, there's an increased rate of crime, because there's already failure to guide these children. There's already, we've talked about the cost of living being high, and now people are indulging into criminal activities because they want to survive. Those children are going to be there, they'll be on the streets. When they're on the streets, they're trying to get a living, and they just begin to indulge in those criminal activities. Apart from that, we're increasing the rate of illiteracy in the country, because of the fact that we can't sponsor or take care of these children.
We have people that are already sending in messages, and they would want to get feedback from you. So please take us through how children born out of wedlock are also increasing, like the number of illiteracy in the country.
Well, it is because, remember, the age range that is indulging in this are people in their youthful stages. Maybe because of what they've been exposed to, and now they're excited about this for sex in a lot of youth, a lot of young people. So it's happening that people are indulging in this even before they can become stable, even before they can discover what they want to do in their lives. And yeah, they're having children all over. So now it's happening that these children are not being taken care of. Some of them are not even being taken to schools because their parents are not able to. They indulge in sex before they could be stable, or before they could take care of a family or a child. And now, because of that, there's an increased rate of illiteracy levels. Children are not going to school. That's all.
Okay. So, from a Christian perspective, you made mention that you are first a Christian before a medical doctor. So you have taken us through. So what should be the role of places like the church? What should be the role of the school? What mainly I would love from the Christian perspective, what should be the role of the church in helping deal with this issue?
Okay, so based on the age group that's been addressed, the church should bring certain measures that would put this in line. What do I mean? I mean the church should focus more on these issues, to teach on these issues like blue black. They should just be plain about it. Okay? They should talk to youths. If possible, they can organize seminars or they can educate youths on indulging in sexual activities to prevent, like they shouldn't indulge in such things so that they can prevent all these things coming about. And what's more, as Christians, as I said, for us, sex before marriage is a sin. Sex outside marriage is a sin. Okay? So we're not supposed to do that, and our teachers should make sure they emphasize more, especially on the young groups, the young people. Then also you talked about education. What did you say? You said schools. So what should happen is that schools also should focus on sexual education. A lot of children are trying to identify or discover their bodies, and they tend to do such things. They tend to indulge in sexual activities, but it is because maybe someone didn't teach them how to. They didn't teach them that abstinence is better. They didn't teach them that, or the dangers of all these things that can come about. They didn't teach them about sexually transmitted diseases and everything that can come about. So sexual education is very important in high school. If it can be implemented even more, even better. So the church and the schools should do that. Yeah. What else?
So your last words. There's a youth somewhere that is watching you. There are youths that have been listening to you. You've talked about the role of the church, the role of the school, and your last thought. You are talking to a youth right now that has been watching you. Probably they have been in such issues. Maybe they have a child out there. Your last words.
So what should I do? They've been in such issues, they have a child.
Yeah, they have a child. I would also want you to address both those that are not yet involved in such issues, and you talked about crisis, also identity crisis. You starting from there, your last words, let's say, to a youth that is going through, that is battling addictions, people that are fighting. Like what we're talking about, they have an identity crisis. They don't know where to start from.
Okay, so actually, from my knowledge, sexual education is already going on right now in schools. They're already being taught at different clubs in schools, high schools especially, that are teaching such things already. So if you're out there and you're battling such things, reach out to your guidance teachers if you're still in high school. If you're already in the society, like different organizations like CHARS, Youth Alive, also hospitals have got different counselors. You can reach out and let them speak to you, let them help you. On the spiritual side also, if you can, reach out to your pastors, leaders at church, okay? And they'll be able to help you. But this is not the end. There's still a way out, and I believe that life will get better.
Okay, so that's Dr. Sarah there, who's been who's a youth advocate, and I believe that we've had a great session. We have quite a number of things that she has also addressed, and please make sure that you send in your messages. Please make sure that you comment on our social media platforms. Make sure that you comment, you send us your email, and if you have a personal issue that you would want to be addressed, would first want to handle it in the next podcast before we get into the topic of that day. And it's been a pleasure to have you, Dr. Sarah. It's been a pleasure to have you, and we hope that we'll see you again next time. To everybody that is watching, that is following us on all social media platforms, good night, and we'll see you again on the Tulande podcast.